Hi everyone, Marc Lowe in Tokyo. I'm wearing my Latin Sane t-shirt today. Actually this the stripe, you know, the schizophrenic stripe symbol was gold on this shirt. I bought this shirt at a Uniqlo in 2016, the year that Bowie died. They had a special, I guess, you know, thing for his passing, and I bought it, and the gold came off completely, and I just left it as is. Hi, how's everyone doing out there? It's Saturday night, and I worked today. I taught a class, and what do I want to talk about tonight? Not just music. I want to talk about This Dark Shroud again, because I have a new thing that's pretty cool to talk about, but I don't want to just talk about that. I want to talk about personality. I had an interesting discovery today, and I mean, it might sound trite to some people, but I've been living here alone for over 3 years. It's July. I moved in here July 1st, 2020, during the pandemic. So it's been over 3 years now. It's my 3-year anniversary here. Cheers. This apartment alone. And essentially I've been single. I had a very brief, almost non-relationship kind of relationship. It was like a ghost relationship. We hardly saw each other, and it's finished now. So there's that, and the fact that I do still spend most of my time alone, and very intensely making music, doing video, etc., etc. I do live shows from time to time, not nearly as frequently as I used to. There's various reasons for that I won't go into. But I'm trying to do a little bit now. I did one last week. I posted it, obviously. And next week I have one. And then the week after that, I just added one at Neppo. I haven't played there. Kichijoji Neppo. It's been a long time. And I'm happy. It's a kind of noise ambient event. It might be really, really noisy. When they say noise event, it's like, I do noisy stuff, but like noise event means, you know, usually ear-splitting noise. But that's cool, you know, whatever. I do my thing, they do their thing, and that's cool, right? Obviously, I'm not making rock and roll or pop music, so it fits more into that than it does into something else that's more, you know, a bunch of rock bands or something. I've said I wanted to talk about personality, and I said I made a discovery. Let me get back to this. So, 3 years here, alone, basically not having any deep relationships or any plans to move in with anyone anytime soon, or anything like this, you know. And you know, I teach 5-6 days a week. I have a summer vacation so-called coming up, but I'll still be pretty busy and still teaching classes and stuff even during the so-called vacation or break, just in a different format. I discovered this kind of, you know, and it was through the algorithm at YouTube, and it's kind of creepy, but because I never, like I say, it's a discovery. I never searched for the term. I didn't know what it was, essentially. Never had heard of it as such. A so-called sigma male, okay? And it only, they're applying it to men, not sigma personality like male or female, or, you know, I'm a Gemini, I'm a Capricorn, I'm a Pisces. It's not like this, you know, that could be male, female, right? Sigma male. And I guess the alpha male is this kind of like very, you know, someone who shows, you know, great leadership and successful and blah, blah. And the sigma is one who has the ability or capability to be such, but basically doesn't follow the crowd, the herd. David Bowie, it's kind of perfect timing. I'm wearing this today when I teach David Bowie, the first thing I talk about, one of the first things I talk about to my class when I do my course on David Bowie, which I'll be doing again this fall at university for the third time, 2 sections each, is that he did not like herd mentality. He did not like following the herd, that this is a theme in David Bowie from early times on, Nietzsche and the Superman and all this kind of stuff. So, obviously I can sort of feel some sympathy toward that aspect, and that, but over and above this, so the Sigma so-called male, then the alpha male would be more sort of like external success, in the sense that there's a kind of like within society, and that it's a kind of, talkative and social and successful in an external way. The thing about the so-called Sigma male is that he supposedly is a bit more introverted. Now, this is the one part where in some ways I'm different from this or this. I'm quite gregarious. I talk a lot. But I think, if you kind of read the fine print here, it's not that Sigma males are always introverted or don't like to talk or don't like to have, people around them. It's just that they're selective about the people they hang out with, that they tend to be loners or lone wolves. They tend not to work well in groups. They tend to not agree with everything just because everyone else agrees with it, and if they feel differently, they tend to speak out about it. They tend to spend more time alone. They tend to break off relationships that don't seem to be for them, working, and that if there's not a deep connection, that it's not kind of worthwhile overall, or if there's manipulation involved, or deception, or manipulation, or power imbalances. All these things. To say that I saw myself in this is an understatement. And so it was kind of, it's a label, it's a categorization, it's this, it's that, and whatever. But it gave me a framework through which to view myself, my life, and some of the things that I've gone through, and I talk about in this essay that I've been posting almost daily on my blog, marclowemusician.blogspot.com, which is, all the stuff with my ex-band and how, I couldn't get through that well, and I had just all these kinds of things, and, kind of trusting people and then feeling betrayed in some way, and then, kind of reflecting back on it and thinking, well, maybe it was me, or maybe I misinterpreted, and saying things and being misinterpreted so frequently without bad intentions, but then the other person assuming you have bad intentions, or sometimes my assuming that people have bad intentions when they don't. There's some disconnect there, or some different viewpoints or way of thinking. It's not that there's a bad intention necessarily on either side. Sometimes there is, or could be interpreted this way. But anyway, all these kinds of things that I've gone through and go through all the time, for better, for worse, and end up essentially choosing, in a sense, to be alone more of the time, to focus on my music, to focus on writing a long essay about my experiences, or writing fiction. It used to be. I wrote a lot of fiction in the past, and I'm actually found a lot of that fiction. I talk about this in the essay. I found a USB drive with fiction I had written years ago when I was basically writing fiction all the time and not doing music. That was my, right? It's always something. I need something creative, I guess you could say. But it's an internal world thing that's being expressed creatively in some way that could be externalized, right? Like writing or music or video work. So that hasn't changed much in a way, although it's just a different medium. But so yeah, the Sigma male thing, and some of these videos on YouTube are really, like, I don't know if hyperbolic is the word. They're a little over the top, the Sigma male who's the brilliance of the Sigma male misunderstood and blah, blah, kind of romanticizing or talking about how Sigma males often appear in films and this and that. Well, okay, fine, whatever. Put that aside. I definitely saw myself in that, and in some of the less attractive aspects, okay? You know. But indeed, so that was kind of blew my mind open a bit. It was the ton of bricks falling on my head. Eureka, whoa. Not 100% good, not good or bad, but just recognition there. So I don't know why I wanted to say something about this, because that's, my last, like, there was a talk I posted some days back before the talk on This Dark Shroud, where I was walking outside wearing a hat and saying, I'm doing these live shows, but I'm really not sure, it's like kind of tie-in. I'm tired and I'm having problems with communication with people. I mean, this thing, I'm playing at Nepo now. I contacted them and finally got back to me with an apology and asked me to do a show, and I said yes, and that's cool, and everything's cool. It's fine, great, no hard feelings on their side. There was nothing wrong there, but I had, felt that there's, waiting for months and months and months with no reply. I don't want to keep writing and writing, so I thought something was going on there. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. It's fine. The same is true of other things that have happened, and people's attitudes. Sometimes it's like you think they're being cold or dismissive or fading out, and sometimes it's that, and sometimes they're just busy, and that's fine too. And for my part, I don't make the effort I used to make in many cases because it's tiring, and I've had enough, and I have to shield myself against it a bit, and I get tired. And I could get hurt. In the past I got hurt, I was too sensitive. Now I've got a much thicker skin, but it's not just thick skin, it's, weighing the pros and cons of making the, extending out or withdrawing and just doing my own thing and just ignoring or just forgetting about it. And sometimes it's a better choice, a better option, and that's Sigma male. Or it seems to be anyway. That seems to be the thing, that kind of sort of hoping for a deeper connection and not finding it, and then and also getting burnt or taken advantage of enough times that you just kind of start to withdraw a bit. It's not that I'm antisocial, it's not that I don't like people, it's not that I don't want to be more active in those ways, or making those connections and getting the better gig or the better job or whatever it is. I mean, that's not my main goal, but obviously that's like the nice thing to have, right? So, but I prefer sort of my own peace of mind over that kind of thing. If that happens, it's like the so-called icing on the cake, right? Although I don't like icing, I don't like sweet stuff too much. Whatever metaphor you want to use. So, let me say something about This Dark Shroud and the new album, just to finish this. Yes, I know I'm changing topic, but so what? Hey, I also want to talk about this, so I'm going to put it in this. It's not going to be a long talk. It's 13 minutes. It's going to be like 15, 16, right? Something. So I had posted The Fleshy Air as an album on YouTube, and it has something like 70 hits now. That's kind of cool. I didn't expect that for an audio-only LP. I don't know how much people are listening to, probably maybe just the first track, The Fleshy Air. That's fine, whatever. The title track of that version, The Fleshy Air, is still the first track of this new album called 9, This Dark Shroud 9. The cover art you see on Fleshy Air, which is very red, that is in the background of the new cover, which I actually put my face on it, which I want to say something about this, and it's just part of it, and I'm wearing the sunglasses with my hat, and it's kind of faded with half of that and half of the background, that kind of the crushed buildings, which I took that photo myself, by the way, and today I passed by there, and they're gone, right? Because they're doing construction. So I got that photo at a good time. That's a ghost. It's not there anymore already. So that's kind of cool and interesting. But anyway, I put my face on it because, well, This Dark Shroud is Marc Lowe, and Marc Lowe is This Dark Shroud, and it's a kind of part of me, and I'm a part of it, right? And yet it's somehow not the same as the stuff I do under the name Marc Lowe. So anyway, and the cover now is kind of a sepia, almost brownish sepia color instead of red. It's not bright like it was before. The Fleshy Air, I it's the same track, but I made a few tweaks or changes to it. I added a bit of piano and some other little things. And also I took some of the tracks off, which were remixes of things from Vanity. They're all gone. I put them on an EP, which I have released on Bandcamp, but not elsewhere, which includes the new version of Broken Wing, which is that guitar piece I put a video up of. And the new album 9 also includes new versions of Black Nail. My song from 2016 or 2017 was re-recorded. I put, the arrangement is different. It actually came from another sort of alternate version I had, but then I changed that. I put a new vocal on it. It's the first new vocal, or the only new vocal you could say, since 2017's version, which had been mixed and remixed. Even 2021 version has that vocal on it. Brand new vocal, different arrangement. It's got some noise elements in it, and that's also new recordings and stuff on there. So that's on there, and a new version of The Dial Is in the Bathroom, which I took last year's version from the album Past Life I did. I took that version, and I put a new vocal on it, and I put some new piano and some other things on it that are different and noisy stuff a little bit. So those are 2 of the 9 tracks. Fleshy Air, which has been redone somewhat. I put a Drowning on it, which is the cover of How to Destroy Angels, which I had done a video for, and I also rearranged that a little bit, and it sounds a bit different. It's remixed, rearranged. North Star, the IMX cover, is on there in this new electronic version. I put this on YouTube, my first share from the 9 album officially. Black Waters, which was on Fleshy Air, it's basically the same, this instrumental track, kind of noise ambient with beats. Self Control is at the end, on the end of the album. What other tracks have I mentioned? It's not all 9 tracks, right? What They Did, which is another older song, 2018, kind of a techno-ish song, and I had done various arrangements. I went back to the original arrangement from 2018, which has not been currently published since 2018, and that version had problems with the sound and stuff. I thought, listening to it again. But I found the original file, and I made some major changes to it, but I kind of maintained the feel of the original, which is more straightforward techno, almost club sounding. But it's got a new vocal at the end and new elements, and it's been remixed. And things like this. So it's like a greatest hits of, Marc Lowe's electronica music, This Dark Shroud style, and some new things, the 2 covers, IMX North Star electronic cover and the Drowning, and also Black Waters. And so it's like this. This is called 9. It's 9 tracks. I've already gone over 15, 16 minutes. I lied. Might edit it down. We'll see. I might cut something and make it shorter. And that's, I guess, what I want to say. And so I put North Star up, and the remix of North Star I did unofficial of the IMX is on the page, but that's not going on the album. The North Star, the original version of the cover version with my vocals, and doesn't have any elements from Chris Corner's version on it, because I don't have the rights to publish that through Apple Music when I do this, or Spotify. This Dark Shroud is also on Apple Music and Spotify. The Vanity album, 10 tracks with the Doors in the Labyrinth remix as well, which I don't normally put remixes by others on my LPs, but he contributed this to me and he said use it however you wish, and I ended up putting it on the LP alongside the original version. And then the remix of that track, Skeleton Bones, as well as Vanity, an instrumental version, is on the EP that's on Bandcamp. You can go to Bandcamp right now, thisdarkshroud.bandcamp.com. You can download it for free, or if you want to give a little tip to the artist, feel free to do that. I always say this, I'm not doing this for money, but it's appreciated if you want to do that, if you're downloading it, but you don't have to. I'm quite happy if you listen to it, download it or not. If you stream it even, it's fine, but go for it. Put it on your phone, your tablet, your computer, listen to it in the train, in the car. The sound's pretty good. Or put it in your headphones. It'll sound better if you download it, actually, because you can download it in high quality FLAC. You can download it, even the MP3s will, I think, sound better than streaming online through Bandcamp. So I recommend that either way, whether you want to give a tip or not. I put it up there as name your price. But 9 will be coming, and I'll be sharing maybe more tracks other tracks. I'm not going to put it all up as a single file like I did with Fleshy Air, but I maybe share some other things like Black Nail, Dials in the Bathroom. I might do a video for some of them. We'll see if I've got the energy or idea or whatever. Broken Glass is also on it, and I did a video for that, right? This same version, actually. Broken Glass also is on the album. Another original from some years back that has been quite, rearranged with beats and stuff. And a new vocal. Thanks very much. That's my talk. I talk about Sigma Males. I talk about This Dark Shroud. I'm home on a Saturday night after working. And I'm single as single gets. And it's fine. It's okay. It's cool. Thanks very much for your support of me, of my channel. If you dig the music, cool. If you like the talks, cool. You like the remixes of Queen. That's another remix from 2018 that I redid. Cool. Whatever it is, thanks for being here. Have a good weekend. It's a weekend wherever you are. It's Japan, it's Saturday night. Getting late, it's almost Sunday, I guess. Signing off. And this talk again in English. I'm not going to subtitle this. I don't have the energy right now. Thanks. This Dark Shroud on Spotify, Bandcamp, and Marc Lowe, of course. Beyond the Body also, by the way. It's now published to YouTube Music and to Apple, Spotify, etc. So that's an ambient album by Marc Lowe. Thanks, signing off. Take care. Till the next. And don't forget David. See ya.